Well, it's finally here. The final round of the road to the showdown for 2026. What is going on, people? Night 25 is upon us. And it is a beautiful night, to say the least. A night filled to the brim with action across a myriad of divisions. So why don't we run down said divisions and matchups, as we will be kicking off the night in the Pink League, Gunther versus Tony D'Angelo. Then Gold League action, Big Match John and El Grande Americano take to the arena. A second place flurry between Utami Hayashishita and Bailey to get you ready and pumped for your main event. Teal League action. It's Vakir versus Flair. But before we get to our main and probably the big one to co-main, let's talk Pink League. It's Tony D'Angelo sets off his potential qualification conquest against Gunther.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 240 pounds, Tony D'Angelo.
So there's plenty of stakes on this matchup. A win for Tony D here would lock him at the showdown. For Gunther, a win would break the tie-breaking rule with Tony D'Angelo on 8 points. But he is also requiring a couple other results going in his favor. That's right. He needs CM Punk to lose tomorrow night. That is the Gunther game plan. As from my understanding, if I just check the records, and I do be right,
And his opponent from Vienna, Austria, weighing in at 250 pounds, Gunther.
the tiebreaker currently sits in the favor of Punk. So, if Punk loses, he will be forced into a three-way flurry with Gunther and Tony D, thanks to how tiebreakers are built when there are 3 stars stuck on the same amount of points. So, reliant on the win here is Gunther if he is to make it to the showdown. Anything but a standard 3-point win, he is gone. Even for Tony D, a 2-point win would not necessarily lock him. He is fully requiring the full 3 points to guarantee himself at the live event. Well, let's see if he gets it as we're out of the gates for your first matchup here tonight. D'Angelo and Gunther. Big clubbing shots out of the gate from Gunther. Going to be matched with a little bit of power from Tony D, forcing him into the corner. The Don versus the Ring General here for this one. Your referee, the beautiful and dashing Miss Guile. Stiff chops from Gunther, resulting in D'Angelo being put to the canvas. A nice King Kong knee drop as well from Gunther. Gets some early control, but D'Angelo a little fight back. A kick to the back of the knee. Now a belly-to-back suplex. And this is what Tony D needs to do. We've seen time and again D'Angelo has been the surprise factor of this division. 2 wins got him to 6 points. Those against the 2 champions of this division in Okada and McIntyre. But, yeah, realistically, D'Angelo's been a pocket rocket through this second half. He's kind of had a similar sort of trajectory as what Seth frickin' Rollins has. And Rollins has been phenomenal through his last few bouts. Tony D, I think, probably his biggest accomplishment. The 2-point win over Roman gives him the tiebreaker over Reigns, who currently is on 10 points. So a 2-point victory here for Tony D would put him locked with the same amount of points as Reigns. Obviously, Roman is not locked yet, but he would be falling secondary to D'Angelo if Tony D did finish with only a 2-point win here tonight. Also, from my understanding, a 2-point win will mean there would be very much only 1 spot available for the showdown. Actually, I tell a lie. There's still technically... If D'Angelo gets a 2-point win, he would not be locked. Neither would Roman. As technically... Seth Rollins and Punk can overtake them. Actually... Yeah, no. D'Angelo would be locked, regardless of a 2-point win. I'm now doing the math in my head. A 2-point win would also potentially cause carnage if Rollins is unable to win. Same for Punk. But we shall see. As D'Angelo drops the axe on the back of Gunther's neck. I'm just checking my record for this last matchup. A nice German there from D'Angelo. Punk versus Drew tomorrow. Rollins versus Okada in a very much elimination-based battle. Rollins would then finish... If Rollins loses to Okada, he will not finish above the Rainmaker in the tournament. Gunther. Short arm clothesline puts down D'Angelo quite close to the ropes. That could be classed as a rope break. Not going to be the case. Gale counts to 2. Gunther visibly frustrated. Throwing up he cannot believe he only got a 2 against probably the biggest performer in this division, who lands a spine buster. Dow. He gets his own 2. D'Angelo charges in, meets the knee of Gunther. Irish whip from Tony D, though, keeps himself in a controlling position. After that spine buster, Gunther looking to punish. Cannot connect with that drop kick he loves to utilize. D'Angelo Might look to make him pay now. Hooks him up. The scoop goes up, but straight out the back door goes Gunther. And now, looking for a cutter. Not going to get it. Instead, this time he connects with the drop kick. He turns D'Angelo inside out. And now, cover. 1. A pretty demanding kick out there from Tony D. He gets turned inside out once again by the ring general, who may be starting to build signs of frustration. Hooks him up. Big time powerbomb. D'Angelo down for the count. And well, the ring general now owns the tiebreaker. And from my perspective, that makes this a little bit more of a spicy division. So now, round 7, we can kind of discuss how these points work out. The pink division in particular is pretty interesting. So, we are gonna have to wait until our second to last bout to understand what will happen in this division. Because
Here is your winner, Gunther.
at this point, from my understanding, I think Roman Reigns is now locked. Purely because, well, Punk can overtake him. Roman's bout is against Oba, so that's a nothing matchup. It's realistically just seeding. But Tony D and Gunther cannot overtake. D'Angelo now out of that overtaking picture. Rollins can overtake, and that would eliminate. Rollins can overtake and eliminate Okada. Okada can only reach 9. But 9 is a number that could qualify. And that would really force Tony D and Gunther into an awkward battle. This division's still wide open. No one's been eliminated just yet. It's interesting. The pink and teal divisions are polar opposites. The pink divisions only has people qualify, no eliminations. The teal division only has eliminations, no one qualified. So realistically at this stage, pandemonium is taking full effect. If tomorrow Punk beats Drew, Punk's qualified on 11 points. And that would eliminate Gunther and Tony D'Angelo. I believe. Yeah, it would. If Punk wins tomorrow, that would mean that Drew, Oba, Punk would be qualified. We've got Rollins versus Okada, and one of them would be qualified then. Regardless, so we're getting a qualifier there out of them. And then Roman's on 10 points. So yeah, if Punk wins tomorrow, it comes down to Okada and Rollins for that last spot in the pink division. If Punk loses, Okada wins, that last spot is a tiebreak. No, it isn't. No, if Okada wins, Rollins would obviously lose the tie-breaking situation. But your top three would be Drew Okada, Drew Oba, Roman, Rollins, and Okada. It all comes down to tomorrow night, basically. A win for Punk. Win or loss. Essentially, Roman's qualified now. There's no... Yeah, Roman's qualified. He is officially at the showdown. That's me doing some math. Congrats to him. Because 3 stars cannot catch him. Anyway, math hurts my head sometimes. I need to sit, understand what's going on. I apologize that that took 20 years to achieve. Regardless of that, your next bout on the docket is an elimination battle only for one man. We already said goodbye to El Grande Americano. But will we be saying goodbye to the GOAT? Who knows? But let us send it to the ring to find out. Whee! Olay!
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring from the Gulf of America, weighing in at 202 pounds, the original El Grande Americano.
So, let's talk about this illustrious men's gold league. John Cena here tonight, reliant on a win, gets him to 8 points. Now, he is not automatically locked in. He is results reliant if he is to make it to the showdown. El Grande, 3 points to his name. Max he can get is 6. He would overtake John Cena in the rankings on a win, but that's all he can do. Well, we're going back to the good old black and white.
From West Newbury, Massachusetts, weighing in at 251 pounds, John Cena.
As we go a little Hollywood here tonight, we saw CM Punk last night channel the Hitman. Tonight we've got a little NWO action, brother. But yes, Cena needs the dub here. Gets himself to 8 points. He is then reliant on several results going in his way, of which one is Ospreay losing to Mark Henry and Cody Rhodes beating Brock Lesnar. That then would mean Ospreay and Cena would be tied on points, deadlocked at 8. Actually, no, Cena is not wanting. Actually, is he? Did Cena beat Ospreay? Is the real question. The answer to that question is a resounding Osprey did beat Cena. So realistically, Cena in actuality is after a different result. I'm going to say this. He's wanting Osprey to lose. He's wanting a count-out victory for Brock Lesnar. A 3-way tie for that 5th spot. Yes, that's how Cena makes it to the showdown. If he gets the triple threat. So reliant on a result that is improbable. Having said that, every time I've asked for a count out or a draw in the Teal League, we've got it. And that needs to happen here tonight. So overall, Cena needs to win. He also then needs Osprey to lose and Lesnar to win by 2. That is the only way for Cena to make it to the showdown. If Osprey wins or Lesnar wins, then we have a different sort of tiebreaker on hand. But realistically, with how things are set up, we're likely to see Lesnar and Cena eliminated from this tournament, and completing out the Gold League would be Shawn Michaels, Will Ospreay, Abyss, and Cody, with Mark Henry as the 5th or 4th seed. That would be how this gold division would shape up, and it's probably the most expected outcome. You kind of have to favor Rhodes. He's been perfect through 7. He's also doled out a lot of damage. There's El Grande. He's dropping the headbutt. He goes for the cover as well. Cena could be out. 2. Kick out there by El Grande. Oh, Rolling Thunder, I should say Cena, not El Grande. It's El Grande on the offensive. Throwing the heavy artillery. Looks to fly. Connects with the crossbody. Cena down. Double axe to the head. He crowns him. Now another cover. El Grande on the verge of victory. And well, sayonara Cena. El Grande. A triumphant last win in the tournament. Eliminates Big Match John. Wow. That means that there's only a couple of possibilities left in this division.
Here is your winner, the original El Grande Americano.
This division's now a little bit more interesting in the sense that we haven't discussed this outcome. So why don't we? We're now reliant on a few results going a certain way. Brock Lesnar now demands a win tomorrow night. As I'm just going to check what his record against Will Ospreay is. From what I remember, Ospreay got the dub in that one. Yeah, so if Osprey wins, he is locked in to the live event. If Lesnar loses, that locks in your top 5 as well. So tomorrow night, yeah, co-main event will either make or continue the gold division, or we will be fully locked in terms of who will be at the show. The only difference is we won't know the seeding. That will be determined as the rest of the week culminates. Anyway, from there, let's now shift over to our green division. A nice bout to determine the second seed of this division. Will it be the Red Queen, or will the role model pip her to the post? Your co-main event is right and ready to deliver. Why don't we send it to the ring and see who walks out second seed?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall, making her way to the ring from San Jose, California, Bailey!
So this is arguably the least important matchup of this week for realistically qualification. As right now, what we will see is some absolute interesting elements taking place. As these two, obviously, this is a battle to determine who is third and who is second. No one else can overtake them in these standings. And you got to give
Her opponent, representing the Queen from Japan, the undisputed Women's World Television Champion, the Queen.
And you've got to give credit where credit's due to both Bailey and Utami Hayashishita. They've both entered their first road to the showdown, stepped up to the occasion, and taken it to everyone. You look at this entire green division. Half of the field have competed in a showdown before. The only one that's really delivered in that avenue in terms of their form from last year is Liv. Julia stepped up. Lyra's stepped up as well. Those two were strugglers last year. They're both still in the hunt for a lock-in spot. But these two stars that have never competed before have risen to the occasion well, and every single step of this bout, they have brought it to their opponents. we're starting off the matchup with some aggression. Short arm clothesline from Utami. Dropping Bailey. Now the champ. Vicious strikes, mounted punches. No protection there for the role model. She absorbs that punishment. We tie up once more. And once again, the Red Queen takes control. Wrenching on that arm. Bailey in trouble. Feeling the pain being pulled through the joints, the wrist, the elbow. Everything hurting from the torque that Utami is putting on it. A nice snapmare into the side headlock, transitions out of the pain, and now on to the pleasure of punishing your opponent here for Bailey, but that's going to be broken, and now she gets to go after the arm. Utami to one knee, feeling that arm joint in pain, and she's now having the elbow yanked as well. She resorts, though, to back elbows from the safe arm to cause the separation, and now a running power slam to ensure she has control. Obviously, neither lady can get to the first seed of this division thanks to yesterday's epic matchup from Liv Morgan. She locked in that top spot with a count-out victory. Obviously not the most ideal result for her, but it did eliminate Momo Watanabe from the hunt. Obviously, the rest of the bouts here in this division realistically will make or break it for certain stars, as Utami hooks Bailey up top. The role model escapes. And now a little exchange of blows. Utami sent into the announce desk. And, well, it's going to be an added insult with the head staggered against it. Bailey now in trouble. Scooped up. Hooks her. Bailey to belly on the outside. The role model cannot follow up that big offense. Now in trouble. Full Nelson. Coloss from Utami. The Red Queen puts her down, and she's going for a little travel up to the barricade. Count of 8. Role model still down. Make it 9. Slowly to her feet. She breaks the count before it becomes deadly. Roll up here. Bridging over. Utami able to kick out in time. She gets a boot up as well. Bailey can't follow up the offense. Now a cover for Hayashishita. 1, 2. And there's the kick out from the role model. Bailey sensing the danger. Gets sent running. Taken over the top. And brought back in. Hayashishita stopping Bailey. I think Bailey may have been looking for that rose plant. Punch caught again. Hayashishita forces her onto the ropes. But Bailey's fired up. She's caught Hayashishita. Plants her with the rose plant. The cover here as well. 1, 2. Kick out from the Red Queen. Irish whip. Bailey sending Utami running. Chases her down and drops her with a clothesline. Red Queen able to fight back now. Picks the leg. Heel hook applied. No tap here for Bailey, but a little bit of submission offense to Legs of Bailey is smart. Red Queen still in trouble. Bailey unloads in the corner. Charges in, but the knee meets the turnbuckle. And the Red Queen looks to punish. Bailey to the other side. The Red Queen, she lands her corner charging strike. She's calling for the end. As high as she lined up Bailey, the answer currently is still no. Or maybe it is. The kick down south. Bailey taken up top. Hooked up for a little hijack bomb. Cover for the Red Queen. 1, 2, 3. Close, but no cigar. Bailey back up. She's caught again, but she's fighting out in the grasp of Utami. She sends the Red Queen over the top. Looks to drop her. Hanging on by a thread, but the thread, it dwindles. Utami dropped to the outside and Bailey gives chase. Head pounded into the floor. Bailey taunting. She realizes the control she has. She could look to end it here. Irish whip though reversed. Bailey sent down south. Utami. What does Red Queen have in mind? It's some big clubbing shots. But it's reversed. Dragon screw leg whip from the role model. What a way this could be if it ends in a count out draw. 7 count. Utami fired up. She takes to the ring at a count of 8. 9. Bailey nowhere in sight. And the Red Queen takes the 2nd seed in the green division. A massive dub here for her. She got the job done. Obviously, she needed a 2-point victory to ensure that there was no tie-breaking situation, which Bailey would obviously win because she would own the tiebreaker. But this is a big result for Utami. Her her first ever showdown. She finished it.
Your winner, the Queen.
She finishes 2nd seed, in the opposite bracket now to Liv Morgan. We'll see who she rounds out facing is the 5th seed of the division. The teal division. What am I on about? It's on my screen right now. It could be one of these stars as well. And to be honest, I really don't want to be facing a Teal League star. But for Bailey, 3rd seed locked in. She remains in the same division as Liv Morgan. We're keeping 3rd seeds on the same side as the 1st seeds. 2nd seeds go over to the other side to face off potentially against the 1st seed of the other division. You got to keep the best against the best potential stars. And we want unique matchups. Anyway, your main event tonight is already upon us. And it is an interesting main event. Chance for top spot to maybe go to a new star. That's right. Charlotte Flair, Stephanie back here. If Flair wins, she makes it as a top seed. No, she won't make it as top seed. I tell a lie. I need to do some math here. But I believe if she wins, we are in a situation where we are very much locked in. Sorry, if she loses, we're very much locked in for this teal division. And it's a weird one because I need to essentially explain how locking in this teal division will work. We'll send it to the ring and we'll begin the long spiel about the teal league. So, main event time. Let's get hyped, as this is about to be big. When it loads, there we go. A loss for Flair is interesting, as she would technically be classed as 6th seed, dependent on how Asuka does.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring from the Queen City, Charlotte.
I'm just... So, this division would be over and done with if Flair loses. We will have locked in all 5 people here tonight on a Charlotte loss. The reason that will happen is, essentially, because no one else can reach the 10-point mark, Flair would essentially be dead last. Well, she will be the 6th seed because Asuka currently owns the tiebreaker. And because of how tiebreakers work, it would mean that no one else can obviously reach the 10, so it's only going to be a one-on-one tie-breaking result. Thus, Flair's gone. We are locked in the teal division. I know that's insane to say, but because of how close it's been, one result like this in the final round decides everything. So realistically, if we want more carnage, if we want the chaos to ensue, we want to count out victory here. Simple as that. Carnage can continue. No one's locked. And we are reliant on more bouts.
And her opponent from San Fernando, Chile, the Heritage Champion, Stephanie Bunker.
We could also get more carnage if Flair gets a 3-point win. She would then reach the top spot for a temporary means. Obviously, if Asuka loses tomorrow, then we're locked in again. But if Asuka wins, she would be in top spot. Flair would be the outside runner. And we go down to the wire. Now, Asuka tomorrow night, she has a little bit of a brawl with an eliminated star. That's why these two facing off against the 2 eliminated stars is really nuts. Because they are the lowest scoring stars left still in the running. And they're both up against Vakir and Lynch. The 2 people gone from the contention. So they have nothing to lose. everything to gain in terms of upsets. And for me, I kind of want the upset. I want Vakir to win this. The Prospects champion really has not lived up to any of that hype that she got from winning the title. 0 wins, only a count-out loss that's given her a point. But she is dead last. And I've been contemplating, is this the worst performance in this tournament? The answer is yes. Outright yes, in terms of every single performance from last year. The big thing was last year, everyone at least got 3 points. It meant they got at least a win. Last year we had Jacob Fatu on 3 points. We had Julia on 3 points. What a turnaround this year she's had. And then Mandy Rose also on 3 points. And interestingly enough, Mandy was a top seed last year. She was the #1 contender after Turmoil, where she won the Turmoil briefcase to then challenge Utami Hayashishita. Not Utami. To challenge Fallon Henley. Obviously now it's like, holy moly, what the WTF? How are we in this situation? Now, don't get me wrong, a win here tonight for Vakir would, if it's a 3-point win, trumps the performance of everyone else that I've just kind of mentioned. But realistically, I've not seen anything big out of Stephanie through all her bouts in this tournament. Last night was, in my mind, a similar story. Obviously, she faced Lady Flammer. She was one and done after a fish food and a fuckbuster. She was put down and out for the count. We've yet to see an SVB from Stephanie. We've seen a spiral tap, but nothing has worked for her. And this does raise the alarm bells when it comes to after the showdown. Because we won't see her for a few weeks now. After tonight. She is done and dusted. And that's a very woeful thing to be admitting, considering the fact that she should be able to beat some of these stars in this division. Anyway, I digress heavily, but let's focus back in on this matchup. Right now, Vakir does have control. Hooks up Flair for a little Devil's kiss. Just wait till Flair does it. Then you'll know we're in a true matchup. Vakir flies. Connects on the crossbody. Looking to punish. Looking to end. A little bit of Charlotte. Soup kicked. Super kick caught, but the mat slam takedown not going to be blocked. And Vakir is on the aggressive path forward, but Flair's not really back down. She's not had a chance to strike just yet. Stephanie's been all in control. Nice Saito. But we know that the Queen is just biding her time, ready to punish an overzealous Stephanie. Vertical suplex from the Queen. Now a little knees to the body. Puts Vakir on notice as the Queen looks to ascend. She connects on the splash. This is Charlotte finding a controlling standpoint. Vakir gonna answer. Kick down south. She's hooked up. Gonna delivered. There's an SVB that we have been after through all of this tournament. Finally, it comes to play for Stephanie. Springboard, crossbody. As Fakir finally woke up, she goes for the cover. 1, 2. It seems a little bit too late for Stephanie. Butterflies flare up, lung blower, knees to the abdomen, and the cover to follow suit. Flair able to kick out, but this is so much better from Vakir. Where was all this? It's been sorely missed, and Flair now, Vakir now, while she's had control, she's now in trouble. Swirlied and busted open after that maneuver from Charlotte. Flair charging in. Caught in the corner though. DDT from Vakir gonna stop the spear attempt. Chop blocked. Boot caught. German mat slam. Not blocked. It's Vakir now taking more control. Chop blocked. Punch not. Eat defeat is coming through. Vakir staying in control. Still demanding an answer from Flair. As Flair found it though. She puts Vakir in the corner. Stares her down. Charges in. She was just biding her time to come through with the spear. Down goes Stephanie and dragged away from the safety of the ropes because Flair's looking to do a signature Flair maneuver, the figure 4, and why not bridge back, brother? The figure 8 locked in. Will Vakir tap? The pain of this hold could put her out. Breaks the clasp, the leg vine, and gets out the hold. And I think for a second there, Flair may have been looking to put a big maneuver in, but it may take a little bit more time because she is busted open. Maybe a little groggy, but Flair now going to have to respond to the grogginess because there's an SVB with her name on it. The Stephanie Vakir backbreaker gets the job done. And we are locked in this teal division. We can finally say welcome to the showdown. To Oscar. To Fallon. To Nia. Blake. And Flammer. This teal division has sorted itself out in the space of an evening. The only thing that remains is seeding. And that won't be decided until the very end. That is the one thing this division will not be confirmed until we see Blake versus Fallon.
Here is your winner, Stephanie.
What a night. What a way to end this night as well. With now 3 bouts remaining before we're at the live event in each division. Top spot looms for certain stars. And tomorrow, that potential spot can be seized, maybe for only a moment. As we will see the following bouts taking place. We will be kicking it off in the Green League. Liv Morgan looks to extend her run while undefeated, not max points. But she wants to make it a statement that she lost to no one. On the other side of things, it's locking in. It's getting into the showdown. Lyra Valkyria, a win does it. I think. Maybe not, actually. A win would not do it, actually. Lyra is not confirmed locked if she wins tomorrow. A loss would eliminate her. That is what would happen. A loss would also lock Julia into the showdown. I think. Unless Lainey Reed does something spectacular. I have a feeling that... You know, Lainey could do something spectacular. We won't know if Julia's locked until her final match. Actually, no, we will know by Saturday if Julia is locked. Or not, brother. Anyway, other than that bout, we have Asuka versus Becky. Becky's already gone, and Asuka now finds herself at the showdown. A chance, though, to excel her seeding. That can be done if she wins tomorrow. It puts her technically top of the division, if not for only an evening. After that, do or die for Brocky B. A win keeps him still in the running for the showdown. A loss to the American Nightmare would mean that we know every man in the Gold League going to the showdown. Then, and only then, your main event takes place. And it's another matchup with implications on qualification. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. A win for Drew would make a very interesting thing happen, or potentially happen in the Pink League. A potential three-way dance for that last spot. Or maybe not, if Rainmaker wins on the following night. Who knows? What we do know is the showdown has finally been cracked open. The Teal League sees its stars locked, and we loom ever closer to the carnage unfolding at the showdown. Thanks for joining me for night 25. Night 26 should hopefully deliver all the same. I do hope to see you there. Peace out. FYI, it will start earlier, as always on a Friday. Peace out.